It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies.
Streaming?
In cinema, streaming, and classic films as well. I need
Directors?
The line. Directors and actors. Beware, as you cannot hide from the rage.
Your name is Bryce.
My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey! Bryce?
We also have Murray, who swerved us last week as we thought he was coming to the cinema Monday night, but then he didn't show. Did you have a hot date, Merman?
I had a hot date with myself.
Oh, baby. Sounds like a good Monday to me.
I get it. As long as you got lots of lotion on hand. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on. We don't want chafing.
I know sometimes chafing's not so bad.
That's all right.
Yeah, sometimes you got to work your way up to the lotion to get the product. Anyway, thanks to all of you supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on our listening or your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining a membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we will watch it if it played anywhere in cinemas. Now, let's get to raging, but first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
You know what's the best thing that happens to us?
No.
We get to go to cinemas.
Oh, yeah,
Remember,
that's nice.
remember the days when we would see movies not in cinemas and how terrible that was?
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
Chris Pine and Hugh Grant called me a hero for going to the cinema.
He did. Yeah, and it's true. We were heroes. We are the unsung heroes of our nation right now. We are literally the three people supporting our cinemas.
We're supporting the entire cinema industry.
That's right.
Just the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. Remember when I bought that stuffed animal that I don't even want for $74?
I'm going to get fat because I just keep on buying giant bags of popcorn.
Then you eat it all before the movie starts, and you get a refill. So you eat 2 giant bags.
Sometimes 3, actually.
Sometimes 3.
If we're watching a double feature and he's already eaten the first bag, and then in between the movies, he gets another bag that he waits and eats that, and then he gets another one before the next movie.
I'm such a glutton.
You know what he needs a good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
A veggie burger.
There you go.
With vegan cheese.
Nope.
That's right, with cheese.
He needs a Baconator with extra bacon.
No.
Cheese. Vegan bacon.
That's
Actually,
the
vegan
gross.
bacon's pretty good. There you go. All right, so we got to see one of the Hollywood Pines today, or one of the Hollywood Chris's.
Hollywood Pines.
Well, there is 2 of them, too.
Yeah, it's true enough.
Yeah. So, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Something tells me this is not your favorite movie.
This film felt more like the improv game, What Comes Next, than an actual film. In What Comes Next, you would perform an action and then say, What comes next? And whatever was audibly yelled out would be the next thing in your scene. I can picture the actors in this delivering their lines and then asking, What comes next? At which point, I can picture the director and writers racking their brains trying to come up with something in the moment and screaming back, your head explodes, or your arms turn into spaghetti and attack your horse, or a killer dwarf grows out of your armpit. Now, before I go any further, full disclosure, I have never played Dungeons & Dragons and literally know nothing about it, other than when I was in high school, I was aware that there was a group of kids that would get together in their parents' basements and play it. Judging from this film, it seems as though playing D&D was a lot like that improv game. And if that is the case, then I would say this film captured that quality rather well. The question is, does that make for an entertaining film?
That is the question.
On the back of Chris Pine bringing his best qualities to the screen as Bumblestein or Edelmank or whatever his name was, we get a fairly entertaining yet very uneven romp. But perhaps the unevenness is an accurate representation of the game. I do not know. I don't.
Sounds like, you know what? We're going to have to actually play a game, you, me, and Murray.
No.
I'll be the dungeon master, because I do like to master. And you two can go on this quest, and we'll see.
So all the characters were well developed, and everyone had a purpose. There were moments that were genuinely funny. The film definitely did not take itself too seriously, which definitely helped with the overall enjoyment. The grave scene with the 5 questions could have been a standalone short and was extremely entertaining.
It was.
Michelle Rodriguez kicked some butt. Hugh Grant was underutilized, but anytime we get some Hugh Grant, it is a good thing. Justice Smith was at home in his role as a wizard lacking in confidence. Plus, we had Sophia Lillis as a shapeshifter and Regé Jean Page as some righteous and noble yet sarcasm eluding dude, rounding out this stellar cast. They all seem to be having fun in their roles, and it did translate to the screen. There were so many references in this that went right over my head because, as mentioned, I have no idea what any of these places that got thrown out. I'm sure if you're a Dungeons and Dragons dude or gal, you'd be sitting there going, oh, that's awesome. But I had no idea what was going on with a bunch of these references. But there were enough sequences that were entertaining, as ridiculous as they may have been, that made this a high math for me. I actually really enjoyed it.
What? This is like, what universe are we living in right now? I don't even know what's happening right now. This is crazy.
It's the crazy.
It's the crazy, all right.
And I meant every word of my review.
Well, that's good. So, Murray has his Christmas holiday Hallmark movies, and Bryce has his sparkling vampire films and walking around movies. And one of my weaknesses, as those of you who listen to us regularly will know, fantasy genre is one of my weaknesses, or at least maybe it's not a weakness. Films like Lord of the Rings, Krull, The Princess Bride, and of course, the most fantastic fantasy film, and in my top 10 of all films of all time, is The Wizard of Oz. Was this film what I expected it was going to be? Actually, no. I thought it would have been funnier. Was it funny in parts? Absolutely yes. But not as funny as the trailer had me believing. Was it predictable? I would say also yes. Was it corny at times? Absolutely. Was my love of one of the Hollywood Chris ever present? Of course. And as Bryce has already alluded, did Michelle Rodriguez kick ass and punch some dicks? Probably more than I could have ever hoped for. But, more importantly, did I want to make snoo with her? Fuck yes, I definitely would die by snoo for Michelle in this film. And I have a feeling they tried to make it feel like she was a giant snoo-ridden woman because the angles that she was at, but I could be wrong. But then the film was too long, and the CGI was awful, but it had multiple times that I laughed. Especially at revived graveyard victims. And an obese dragon that had me laughing the entire time it was on screen as it was rolling down the hill because it was too lazy and fat to actually walk down those ramps. And of course, Chris Pine's stupidity is always a treat. But what was truly great, in my opinion, as Bryce also alluded to, and we didn't even see this together, was the mesmerizing Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Well, mesmerizing in my mind, I'm going to say. But then again, there was quite a bit of flatness to some of the rest of the actors. As much as I thought they all did a pretty good job, I think at times there was some flatness. But then the villain was creepy and had the best of the Smith children in it. Although still not an awesome portrayal of said Smith family, but still the best of all the children. But then it was too long. Did I say that already? Because it was really, really long. I don't know why it needed to be over 2 hours.
Because this type of movie's always over.
It doesn't
2
make
hours.
sense. It didn't need to be. They should have just had the graveyard scene for an hour and a half, and that would have been perfectly fine.
I actually need an extended version of the graveyard
I
because
do
I'm
too.
sure it exists.
I hope there is one. If they re-release this, I'm definitely going to be.
I just want a half hour of the graveyard scene.
Yeah. I actually felt I should have really raged about it, but as I said earlier, I have a weakness. One that I can't help. I mean, I am attending Fantasy Lovers Anonymous for this hobbit of a film. Or is it my hobbit for this genre? I don't know. Because I think I'm addicted. I have a problem. I'm addicted to fantasy films. I don't know what else to say.
All right.
Like if it's fantasy, I'll watch it. It's just like you and your choices. Oh look, Ben Affleck is in a movie. You want to see it? I have no desire. But it's fantasy is like, yeah,
it's going to be
sign me up.
quality if Ben Affleck's.
No, I haven't seen that yet. But I can understand your love of something, and mine is of fantasy films. So also with Bryce, although mine was not a high.
I
it was
enjoyed
still
this so much more than I thought I was.
Yeah, well, I when I watched this, I thought Bryce is going to hate this, but apparently I was wrong. And also, apparently, a killer bird bear and the thoughts of Snoo Snoo can change my mind in a heartbeat.
There you
This
go.
was mad. There was so many parts in this I enjoyed. I'm looking at Murray's face right now, and I have a feeling he doesn't feel anything like Bryce and I.
What's a humor?
Did you need some Snoo Snoo as well?
I need to snooze.
Snooze.
I had no intention of seeing this.
Ah.
I really didn't. But yeah, then I broke down. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's an action movie. I guess I can sit through it.
It's a Hollywood Chris.
It's a Hollywood Chris. That and I had points built up, so I didn't have to pay a ticket to actually pay for the tickets.
Nice.
That offset the 2 hours and 15 minutes I had to watch this. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. The whole Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft, Magic the Gathering, I don't get it. I think I played Dungeons and Dragons once with my nerdy friends who were no longer my friends. After about half an hour, I'm like, what the hell is this? They just sit around a table and like, oh, I attack you with my dragon potion. Like, oh no, I have a cloak of invisibility card. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'd rather actually play a video game or watch a movie or even read the book about it.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
I guess they don't have the imagination that they do. I never got that. I mean, and apologies to those of you who do love Dungeons and Dragons. I just never got the appeal of it. So, yeah, and based on the last Dungeons and Dragons movie I saw, I figured this wouldn't be much better except that it has Chris Pine in it.
Well, the last one was an abortion of a movie.
It was still Dungeons and Dragons, and it had an actual wizard and it had actual dragons that were flying.
It had a hell of a cast, and it was awful.
Exactly.
This had wizards. What are you talking about? Multiple wizards.
Had Jeremy, what's his name?
Jeremy Irons was in
awesome.
it. The low light of his career.
Exactly. But still, it was entertaining. But yeah, it was terrible. So I thought, how can this one be any different, really?
But it was.
I don't know.
It was so different.
I did like most of the cast. I mean, I liked the black guy, although
Mr. Smith.
There
was two black guys.
Well, the page guy, the fancy one.
Yes.
Smith?
The other one.
I don't know what the hell his name is.
Other guy.
Oh, okay. The black guy who was the wizard.
Jean Page.
You mean the Jurassic World guy? No, the guy who isn't that.
Yeah.
The other one, the British one.
The French guy.
The French guy. No, he's British.
He's got a French name.
Well, I saw him on a talk show. He's British.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't like him when he talked though. When he started explaining stuff, I seriously started drifting off.
I thought he was hilarious.
This is just like
too.
the game. Oh, you have to cross the bridge, but you have to do it this way, and then this, and
that
this,
was
and this. And I'm
that
like,
was an awesome scene.
oh no, the way it
I thought
ended
that
was
was
awesome.
too.
How it started was like, oh my god, is the whole movie be like this? Him explaining all
It
the
was
crap
awesome.
you have to go through
I
to get
loved
through
every
the steps.
Explanation
Like, oh
was
my God.
fantastic.
And the scene when he leaves, that's even better.
Oh.
Yeah,
He only goes in a straight line.
and he kicked ass even better than Michelle Rodriguez, and he didn't even stick around.
Hey, whoa,
Yeah, he did.
whoa,
Yeah,
mister.
Back
he did.
up the truck.
That's right.
He did. He was awesome. He
No
didn't stick
death
around.
by Snoo for Merman.
Oh man.
And to be honest, she was the only one I didn't like that much. Like,
What is going on?
Is this opposite day?
I've never really liked her.
What
Like,
is
I know
happening?
her from exactly two things. One thing is Resident Evil. The other one is
Yeah.
like 9 Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing in those indicate to me she could actually act, and it seems like the same character every movie she's in.
Wow.
But yeah,
Murray's got some hot takes today.
Yeah.
But
you
I
know.
liked everything else, like every other character in the movie. Like
Nice.
they were all funny, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, the graveyard scene was awesome,
Wasn't it?
And I again don't agree with Hugh Grant. Like I forgot how much I didn't used to like this guy
He's awesome.
when he was doing his rom-com phase
Yep.
and the picking up. What did he pick up, a transvestite hooker or whatever?
No, I think it
whatever
was
he
just
got,
a
whatever,
hooker.
just a regular hooker.
Yeah.
Maybe that was Eddie Murphy. But yeah, he got in trouble for
Probably.
Who
something.
cares if they're
But it's
transvestite
like,
or not?
and no, that's just the story I remember.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was Eddie.
But yeah, and I've seen him in really good things. This, I don't know. I just felt like he just kind of phoned it in.
He was awesome.
And I knew
He's
damn
always
well
awesome now.
that he wasn't the bad guy. Like, he seemed like the bad guy. I waited for an hour and 45 minutes for the actual bad guys to show up.
Well, he was.
Then when
He's
they
still
did,
he was a
bad
pretty
guy.
bad guy.
whatever. He was he was
pawn?
a snake. Yeah, he was a con man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does what he does.
He
Okay.
still instructed his people to kill his friends, which is pretty bad.
No, but he actually cared about, his niece, daughter, whatever. I mean, he had heart.
Did
He
he-
offered to kill her.
Well, no, he had some heart. Well, when he was put up his back
I
against
don't
the
know.
wall.
I think Murray did fall asleep a couple
No,
times
I think
I
so.
just- I didn't
Because
like
I
it.
remember him holding a knife to her throat.
and threatening to kill her.
When his back was against the wall, he did. Up until then,
That
he,
still makes him a bad
well,
person.
yeah, but when he was willing to, he could have just left her there, and he didn't. Anyway,
Okay.
he just never came across as a bad guy, just a sleazy con man.
Okay.
And I kept waiting for the bad guys to show up, which I knew was going to happen because they predicted.
Well,
they showed you it was
She
going to
there
happen.
the whole time.
Yeah, but stuff hadn't actually happened like the last 20 minutes, and I'm like, this is an hour and 45 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
they're building the
I got
suspense.
freaking bored. I'm like, oh my god, when is this going to happen?
So did you go to the bathroom a couple
No,
times?
I
Oh,
actually
okay.
never left. I had to laugh at one lady who left 15 minutes before the movie was over, and then came back when the credits started. So she literally went to the bathroom during the last part of the movie.
She might have had.
She held on
something
for
going
2
on.
hours.
Gotta
and then
go, you gotta go.
She held on for 2 hours and then went right before the movie was over.
Nice.
Like, she didn't check her watch or anything. But yeah, as the credits were rolling, I left, and she was walking back in. And I'm like, why? Why even go back up the stairs? Just
To catch the end credits.
That's right.
You could stand there and watch them. You have to go all the way back
Maybe
up to
she
the
was
top.
in the
Plus,
movie.
there's an end credit scene too. I think.
Yeah.
Didn't stay for that.
Oh, you missed it.
Whatever.
It's too bad.
No, it was mildly entertaining, but again, Dungeons and Dragons not my thing. So a lot of it just didn't really care about. I mean, I liked the whole Captain Kirk swashbuckling thing, and there was plenty of action. But yeah, as I'm not into fantasy, and yeah, it was a little too out there. I like my, straight ahead,
Driving cars and
knights and dragons and battles type movies.
Right.
This one was a little too out there with the magic and crap.
okay. You know what? I'm on bated breath right now.
Yeah, it was a meh. Like,
Oh, okay. Well,
rage
Okay,
about it
well,
'cause
there we go.
I didn't hate it. I just
it sounded like you
Yeah,
hated
you
it.
kind of sound like you hate it a lot. So
that's me.
sometimes
I didn't love it.
That is kind of Murray.
I didn't love it,
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
and I really didn't need to see it, but whatever.
Nice.
So yeah,
Give it to us, baby. You know what to do.
yeah.
Yeah, I just kept thinking the whole time, I want to meet Michelle Rodriguez in a back alley and have her beat me up. That's all I kept thinking the whole time.
Oh, there you go.
And yeah, I just thought the characters were well done.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed a lot of it. It was, you saying it's predictable though. I mean, it's not predictable because just the stupidest stuff was like happening. Like literally you'd go from scene to scene. It's like, well, this doesn't make sense. Like, why is this happening now? Now, don't get me wrong. The end is predictable.
Yes.
And how everything turns out is predictable.
Yes.
But from scene to scene, it's just like, they're just throwing crap at the wall. And I guess that's like a Dungeons and Dragons where it
and
kind
there-
of is.
It's
There's
exactly-
a game.
They're
It's
Yeah.
like playing the
they're
game.
basically a bunch of losers being led by a guy who plays the harp or a lute or whatever the hell
Yeah,
it is.
I mean,
Like he doesn't even pick up a sword. He's not even like
he makes
He makes
plans.
And if those plans don't work
Yeah,
out, he
He's
makes
always got
plan.
another plan.
Yeah, he makes plans and has Michelle do all his work for him.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
it works out well.
He didn't even try to punch anybody.
She
I'm
doesn't
what
like
the
to make
hell?
plans, so it's like a perfect relationship.
Yes.
And it wasn't sexualized, which actually I thought was kind of good, right? Like they could have easily let up
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that they have family love, and they even talked about it. It's more like his sister.
Yep.
So yeah, you know what? Kudos for not putting sex in a movie that didn't need sex.
Yeah.
It's for kids.
No, really wasn't.
And putting a fat dragon. Like
There-
I've
there-
never seen a
Oh,
fat dragon.
it actually-
and I'm kind of
there was
it was-
enough coarse language that it wasn't really for kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was.
Was
Hey.
there?
Oh yeah, I counted.
But there was
some.
a fat dragon. Who doesn't want
Yeah.
to see that? It's
Well,
like
they should-
I like to see my own representation in dragon
then-
form,
then
and
then
I felt connected to it.
I don't know. That was the lamest dragon ever.
That was awesome.
I don't know what you're watching, man.
I don't know. Yeah, well, you know what? Looks like we all agreed on something.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, we came to the same rating, but
Right.
I think we've got like one super low man, one high man, one man.
Yeah, mine was the middle, man.
Yours in the middle, I
Yeah.
was the high, and
Mary's was
Mary's the
low.
low.
We covered the gamut of man.
So much man.
That could be a real good title for this one.
Yeah, it could be, but I'll probably go with
Probably
something
not.
else.
Yeah, something stupid you'll come up with. like you usually do.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we also got to see a movie called 1001.
Damn straight.
Yes. Broken people don't know how to love is one of the lines that our lead character says. And I think it's kind of a good subtext for this film. It is hard to fully explain this film without giving spoilers, so I'm going to say this. It is a story of a mother who kidnaps her son from the social system and hides under a new name in a different part of New York until her son is about to turn 18 when he is going to go to college and what is assumed is going to be an academic scholarship. This film is slow.
Didn't seem that slow to me.
And builds almost at a spore's pace. And to be honest, I was not loving some of the delivery of the dialogue or the acting for the first part of this film.
Yeah, I didn't
and it's
really
very
get that.
No, I know you didn't, but I
Go ahead.
I didn't the first part of this film before it starts to transition a little bit. I would say maybe the first 10 minutes. So it wasn't a long period, but
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes I was kind of like, what's happening here? I'm not liking this. But as the characters deepened and expanded, so did the story, character development, and complexity of this film. It builds to an ending that is satisfying and emotionally charged. I love hearing and seeing Black voices tell stories that are powerful and moving and relatable to every single person who watches it. These are people first and foremost, and the story, although takes place in Harlem in the 90s, that is only a location point on a map. And as usual, I had to question, was this period piece needed
Yes.
in this film? And in this particular case, it makes 100% sense for many reasons. So for those of you who are not period piece lovers like myself, when you watch this movie, you will know that this movie had to be taking place in the 90s or it wouldn't have made sense. As I mentioned, this film is slow building film, but never actually hits a crescendo. It has a story that has an amazing moment which I'm not calling a crescendo, that will make you say, I did not see that coming. And if you're like me, that moment will also bring tears to your eyes, which in addition to this big moment, had the most perfect ending to this story, which I fell deeply, deeply, deeply in love with. And just like at the end of Citizen Kane, there was one word I whispered as I wiped tears away from my eyes, but it wasn't Rosebud. The word was Mondo. We got unpacking to do, but what did you think?
All right. 1001 is a film that could have easily been heaped on the pile of melodramas, but it stands apart from that with a gritty and real story that bursts through the genre and shows the lengths a mother would go to protect her child. Tiana Taylor plays Inez, fresh out of prison. She kidnaps her son to keep him out of the broken foster system in New York City that she herself was a product of. She knows in her heart that her son Terry would be better off with her, and basically risks more than we could imagine to give him a better life than her circumstances could have afforded her. With a new identity, they start over and start building a life from the ground up. Through the course of the film, which takes place over a decade plus, we not only see Terry grow up, but we see Inez grow up as well as she learns what it means to be a good mom. And make no mistake, she is a good mom.
Yep.
Lucky, played by William Catlett, is introduced as Terry's father, and the three of them become a family. We get scenes throughout involving Lucky and Inez, whose exchanges had me wondering, what was that about? But it all becomes clear by the end of the film. The film defines family as concisely as I have ever seen. Traditional definitions need not apply. This film ends as it began, based in a situation that could not feel any more authentic. No easy answers, just the love between a mother and a son. 1001 was Mondo.
Yeah, this movie was so deep and fulfilling as you watch it. Like, I often say that it's the Japanese who, and for a lesser degree, the Koreans that fully understand family dynamics and what family looks like. And I'm not talking like, Furious 8 or 10 or whatever they fucking talk about family. I'm talking about when you watch a movie and you go, you know what? You do not have to be all born of the same ilk that this family is represented. And it's been a long time since I've seen a film where I would go, this is a North American made film and I feel the family. Brother did that too. Brother did that too, but they were actually family, which is different, where they're coming together as a family and they weren't a family per se. Like, as when you see this is a film I think everybody should see, and it really does, it does really good representation of Black voices. I think there's subtle influences in this, especially from the 90s when what was happening. And like, for example, when they pull him over and they have to, search him for, it's like for no apparent reason whatsoever, but just because he's Black walking down the street, they had to pull him over and check him out. But they didn't make it a big deal. It was just part of the story. It's part of the story. Same thing with the slumlord, the slumlords taking advantage of these poor people. Yeah. It's like, it's not pushy and over and in your face to go like, we have to make a point here. No, the point was made so well to see, like, anybody who watches this is going to say, yeah, the cops are fucking dicks and landlords are assholes and this and that and this. Like, it's so obvious. Yeah. But it also shows you a really good tight writing about a family that is just a beautiful watch. And, kudos to as we said, when we came out of the film, it's like, we don't need to see a sequel to this, but if 1002 came out, I would be really looking forward to seeing it. Because
this was just so well done.
Yeah.
It was you know, as I say, I was when I left the cinema, I was like, wow, and I think that the last 15 minutes really cemented it for me.
Yeah. It could, you know what? They could have totally dropped the ball.
They could have.
This is one of those ones that it could have not been a perfect film. But this, there's nothing I would have taken out of this. There's nothing I would have put in this.
They didn't feel the need to tie it in a nice little ribbon and put a bow on it. You know, this is
real. This is real life.
It felt real, and it was so good.
This gets 1,001 Mondos.
It was so Mondo.
Yeah. Now everything else, what's going to happen for the rest of this year is not going to even come. And we've had 2 amazing family dramas from North America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one from Canada.
One from Canada. Well, the best Canadian movie ever made, but that's just my opinion.
Yes.
All right. That's all we saw in the cinemas, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, baby. Are we going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons films? Your favorite fantasy films?
Nothing.
We got nothing? That was it? You're just giving people a taste of the merman music?
Nothing.
Murray's in an angered state.
Temperature rising.
Oh, he's pushing the rage buttons.
Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
So, with not too much that I hated going on this week, I have a rage specific about an effect, but not just because it is the effect. I think we know that the world of CGI is not going to go away. It's just not. But when we see a film, I mean, can you imagine making the scope of this without using CGI, like for Dungeons and Dragons in particular? It would have been impossible. It would have been impossible for a budget that they probably tried to roll under it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, we've seen really good CGI. We saw 65. The movie was terrible, but the CGI was some of the best CGI that I've ever seen.
Yep.
And then you see Dungeons and Dragons, and there's scenes that were like, it almost felt like those movies, the action movies. There's a scene where they're on like a horse or whatever, and they're walking along, and I'm like, this is so obviously a soundstage with a really terrible backdrop. And I was thinking, are they just trying to make this seem funny? Like, is this ironic that's happening right now?
Well, I think it was.
Well, because it was so absolutely bad.
The CGI usually annoys me, but it actually added to my enjoyment here. It's almost like it wasn't quite like Hollywood CGI, which actually makes me downright giddy, but it was still quite enjoyable.
It was. I'm watching this, and I turned to my wife, and I'm both looking at her, and then we both said it at the same time, and was like, is this blue screen or green screen? Like, they couldn't afford green? Was it that bad? Like, it was really terrible. So my rage this week is, if you're going to make a movie, at least give us better indications that it's supposed to be ironically bad, because there was other scenes that it wasn't ironically bad.
I suppose, but
like the dragon scene.
When it comes right down to it, this movie's probably not going to age well because of the CGI.
Yeah.
People will be looking at it in 10 years and going, wow, how is that in 2023?
I know, right? And then they say, remember that other one, 65? That was so good. And the interesting thing about this is one of those films they actually did make creatures for. Yeah. Like, some of the stuff was creature. So kudos for them for that, I guess.
And the animals walking around talking? Yeah.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah. That's my rage. I don't know what it is. A piece of CGI. Do that part better. That's it.
Bad CGI is your rage.
Yeah, but it's more specific, I guess. Whatever. I had a good time. What you got?
Gotta be honest with you, not a whole lot ticked me off this week.
What? That's like, other than Murray, you're usually the one that's got a short nerve span.
I mean, the only thing that annoys me is this thing that annoys me quite often, and that's that you got a quality film playing on one screen out of hundreds of screens in this city. Like, I don't understand why this was one film, and it's at a location that's not getting a whole lot of business right now, and it's still got like 10 or 12 people in there.
Yeah, on a Monday.
Which is on a Monday night, which is, you know, unfortunately, that's a good turnout anywhere these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still don't understand why we can't have a screen dedicated at least a few theaters where they actually show something independent and good and try to keep movie making alive. Because yeah, you can talk about all the money that these other ones are making, but at the end of the day, you need to have a little bit of everything, and you can't just rely on that. You still have to have substance to your cinema, and there's no reason why you can't set aside a screen to show some substance. Yeah,
and it makes you wonder whether or not how those ones are doing. Like if you go in and John Wick's on 72 screens, right? Is all of those ones doing as well? Because I don't know about you guys, but we went, I don't remember what night it was, but when we went, it was like almost sold out. When we've seen Dungeons and Dragons, it was almost sold out. And it was not on a lot of screens either. Like for the new release that week, they still had John Wick, and they had that another big film that's still playing, right?
We went to Dungeons and Dragons at like 3:30 on a Thursday, so it's not, but there was maybe, and that was like the first screening of it though. So you think there might be a little bit, but yeah, there was maybe 12 people in the theater.
What about you, Mer? How many people when you saw it?
10 or 15, I don't know.
Okay, so it wasn't a lot. Yeah, for us it was sold. We were at the VIPs too.
You went like Friday night though, didn't you?
Yeah, we must have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it was sold out VIP. Like the margin they're making on VIP is like pretty huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Well, there's stuff we still don't even get, right? Like, it's period we don't even get.
Yep.
So, the sadness.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
We're on the lists. So, for those of you who are listening to us for the first time, we have a segment called The Lists, where we talk about 4 different categories. We have the doubted, the undoubted, we have the mesmerized or mesmerizing, and we have the repulsive. And we haven't put a lot of people on some of our... It's very difficult to get on the doubted and undoubted, so you can go check our website out at filmrageyyc.com to see the rules behind these lists.
I'm going to make it my mission to nominate someone for either the doubted or undoubted next week.
Perfect. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
This is good.
It is good.
But we've actually felt that we've got too many people on our mesmerized list, and as the rules are, you cannot have 2 mesmerizing people in a movie because one of them has to be more mesmerizing than the other. So this week, Murray, thank the Lord, hail Satan, got us to watch Rogue One, which has the mesmerizing.
Is that a Star Wars story?
It is a Star Wars story. In fact, in my opinion, it's the best Star Wars story. In second rewatch, when you watch, when you grew up watching the original trilogy, you have an attachment to them. But when you go back and watch them now, Rogue One's still 10 times better than all 3 of the originals.
Correct.
So Forrest Whitaker versus Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
So it was very close whether or not they made the 5-minute marks for both of them.
They both did.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, they did. But it was very almost close. Mads was in it, I think, a few more minutes longer. But yeah, for me, it was very one-sided for me on this one.
There's only one answer to this. There's no way there's anything but one answer in this particular case.
And it's Mads Mikkelsen.
And it's Forrest Whitaker.
What's that?
It was Mads.
Yeah, I had Mads.
No, it was not.
No, I had Mads.
It was absolutely Forrest Whitaker. I don't know what you guys are watching. Mads Mikkelsen was barely.
Oh,
He was phoning it in on this one. He's like, well, I'm getting a Star Wars paycheck. That'll set me up for a while.
Hey, he has Hannibal money. He doesn't need Star Wars money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, there was moments that I would say Forrest was at the top of his game in this. But then there was other parts where I was like, that seemed a little dialed in to me.
Yeah, the whole thing.
No.
Yeah,
Not
whereas
at all.
Mads to me,
Mads
I
was
felt
I thought that Mads was just a one-note performance the
No, he
whole
was-
way, and it was nothing.
he was emotionally beautiful.
So
He-
was Forrest.
it was
just over
nothing.
the top.
Nah, he wasn't over the top.
Oh
He was
yeah,
perfect.
the whole.
He was
performance is
perfect.
over the top.
Nope.
No.
I
Disagree.
I am sad because, well, actually, I'm not that sad because I love both of them. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently, we didn't agree. So
Apparently not.
they're both safe. So
Okay, Forrest has like 6 other movies
All
he
right.
can go up against.
Hey, let's not gang up on Forrest. We're not doing a Forrest off every
Mads has
week.
got about 2 or 3 too.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just saying, I don't
No,
want a
I'm just-
succession of Forrest.
saying,
Trying to get rid of them.
If you look at my list, which I spent 2 weeks working on,
Yes.
Forrest is up against at least 7 other people.
I know.
who are
He's
in
also
a
on the
lot of
list.
movies.
That's because he's in a lot of movies. Because
Yeah.
he's awesome.
So
He's
at
pretty
some
awesome.
point, someone's going to knock him off.
I don't know about that.
No, maybe not.
Whatever.
Maybe not.
We'll
You know, this is
see.
the thing, right? People were put on the mesmerized list for a reason
Mhm.
because they're mesmerizing,
Correct.
and apparently we couldn't agree this week, but it's not a terrible thing. So we will not be having a mesmerize off next week because I'm going to be on vacation and dialing in from a remote location somewhere in the world. If someone knows where that is, they can guess it. They will win a prize. I don't know what the prize is yet. Maybe other than just my love.
Can I have
but-
one guess?
No, you don't get to guess.
I'm gonna guess.
You don't get to guess.
I want to have
It's
a guess.
an undisclosed location.
But
because
I
you're-
get a guess.
You already know where I'm going, so it's not really a
I
guess.
don't know where you're going. I thought you were
I've
going.
only told them like 10 times.
Oh,
So-
I was gonna guess.
It's-
I know
was
what
gonna
part of the
guess
country
Cucamonga-
you're in.
I was gonna guess
I could-
Cucamonga,
I
California.
couldn't even tell you
I
the
wish
name.
I was going to
Couldn't even
Cucamonga.
give you the name of the town of the city you're going to be in.
It's one that you probably can't pronounce very well.
exactly.
It's not Cucamonga, California.
No, but it's almost as
That's-
silly as a name sounding as that.
That's
Yeah.
Rancho Cucamonga. Thank you
get it
very
right.
much.
You forgot the rancho sauce.
Rancho is very important.
Cucamonga.
If you watch Bring It On, it's Rancho Cucamonga.
oh,
There you
it's
go.
already been brought in.
That's right. It's been brought.
So yeah, do you have anybody you want to throw out there? You know, we talked about her last week.
What's that?
The Pew Pew.
Pew 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 pew.
Talking Star
I'm
Wars.
just saying.
For what?
She's pretty mesmerizing.
Nah,
You don't think Pew Pew's
she
mesmerizing?
hasn't earned it yet.
Okay, well, I
Maybe
would disagree
someday,
with you.
but no. Nah.
I would 100% disagree with you, but
Well, you would be 100%
do you
wrong
want
at
us?
this
Do you want me to just tell you some of the movies that? Well, she's gonna-
You can go ahead and say just
List some movies?
Make your case.
I only know 3.
You only know 3,
Yeah, recent ones.
and did you think she was mesmerizing in those movies, Mer?
Not really.
All right, well then that doesn't really go anywhere.
The last
But,
one. The last one
It's
definitely.
pretty easy. So she was in A Good Person.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Don't
was.
worry.
She was.
Don't
By the
worry.
way, she was awesome in
She
a good
was
person.
she
Yes,
was
she was.
mesmerizing in that.
Yes,
Don't Worry, Darling, and she was mesmerizing in that.
she was very good.
Yep.
But
She was in The Wonder.
yeah,
She was in Black Widow.
yeah.
She was mesmerizing in that,
I wouldn't
other
say
than
she
her
was.
accent.
Did you show up on
Yeah,
those
she wasn't
Black Widow
mesmerizing
TV
in the
shows?
She
Black
was in
Widow.
Little Woman. She was in Midsommar, where she was very mesmerizing.
She was very good, but no, she was not mesmerizing.
All right. Well, then I guess
So
Florence,
as
it's just
I,
you and
as
me.
I say,
my
I'm
little
not saying
pew-pew.
that there might be a time and a place where she earns that, but at this point, she's got to show me more, and she's got to do it more consistently. And at this
All right.
point,
Well,
she's not there.
you're in my heart, Pew Pew.
Yeah,
Apparently not in Bryce and Murray's.
yeah,
No.
well,
Unless she sings more.
what?
Yeah, she sings beautifully.
Your dog is cute, your kids are adorable, and your cat really does look good in that tutu. But there's only so many times you can talk about how cool velociraptors are, or how much you want to rub that fuzzy belly. How about a podcast with extraordinary people and scintillating conversation? It's The Derek Duval Show! Find it at DerekDuvalShow.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. And no, I will not be attending your cat's quinceañera.
I love cats. I love cats.
Play that funky music.
Rage or Dare. Baby baldest boy Bryce. His true love for everything Twilight will be questioned as he was dared by Jim to see the head of the Wolfpack, Taylor Lautner, in his 2011 film, Abducted. This week, Jim must locate his own lost balls and pull from Bryce's torturous bag of musical sports rom-coms. But now let's check in with Bryce. Is he still adamantly Team Jacob? Did Taylor abduct his heart? Is he still a sucker for anything and everything remotely related to the Twilight series? Or... what or? Bryce. Come on, Bryce.
I don't know why you're laughing.
I believe he likes torturing
Come
you.
on, Bryce.
All right, here we go. Abduction is the 2011 action vehicle that was to launch Taylor Lautner into the stratosphere of action superstars. Directed by John Singleton, who is the most frustrating director who ever lived. I mean, how could the guy who directed Boys in the Hood, Badass, Hustle and Flow, and Black Snake Moan be the same guy that directed Poetic Justice, Too Fast, Too Furious, and this piece of crap? Taylor Lautner has the acting range of dry toast. At the start of this, Nathan, played by Lautner, goes to a party, gets so drunk he wakes up on the front lawn, and then we get a fist fight between Nathan and his dad, where Nathan says, "I can't believe you're making me fight hungover." To which his dad responds, "You want to drink like a man? Then let's see if you can fight like a man." They then proceed to beat the tar out of each other, while his mother watches on. Then his parents get murdered and his house is blown up. And it turns out maybe they're not his parents. And then his next door neighbor ends up going with him for some unknown reason as he runs away from the bad guys while looking for answers. And then the CIA is involved. Who can he trust, if anybody? And then there's an Eastern European bad guy. And then there's more Eastern European bad guys. At least I think they were Eastern European. I don't really know. And they were chasing him along with the CIA, and there's some sort of hard drive that I guess at some point he ended up with that's got something on it that apparently is stuff. And I don't really know why any of this is happening to him. And I guess his real father is involved somehow. And, oh, did I mention that Sigourney Weaver is his therapist? But she seems to know more than she's letting on.
No.
Is she a bad guy too? Or is she trying to help? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Like, did we ever find out?
We did eventually, and it's unsatisfying.
Okay.
Nothing made sense in this whole film, and the whole thing was on the shoulders of Taylor Lautner, who should never be cast in like anything ever. And really hasn't been since then, so that's good. This film was poop. It was a rage. It was just a bunch of nonsense, and like John Singleton. What? I don't understand. Like he has the ability to make such good movies and such garbage, and it baffles
There's nothing
me.
in between.
There's nothing. Like it's either great or just absolute crap. It's like there's no mez. They're either Mondo or rages. It's crazy, this guy. And sadly, he's not with us anymore. But I do miss him because he made a lot of good movies and he made a lot of crap.
Yeah, and so just so that we're all clear on this,
Yes.
you were definitely on Team Edward. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, that goes with could anybody be on team whatever his name was? No, I don't even remember. But what was his name? Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody be on Team Jacob? Team Edwards is the only team to be on.
He's more muscular. He's got biceps.
But he's terrible.
Muscles.
He's a terrible actor.
He's warm and cuddly.
No, he's just bad.
He's cuddly and
he's
loving.
Annoying to look at.
He's sweet.
You
adorable.
know, I could stand him in the Twilight movies just because the writing was so good.
That's why people like it.
Apparently, he made this in between the Twilight movies.
Did
He
he?
did. He made it, but he was in the Twilight, and then they gave him that.
There
They
was
were
four
they gave him his
or
big
five of
shot.
them, and he made it in the middle there somewhere.
He did.
Yeah.
He made it like almost smack dab in the middle, I think.
Yeah,
But-
that's what they
but
try
then
to
he-
do is to get
I
a
think
leapfrog
after
out of
that,
the Twilight.
They stuck him in that horrible the something 8, the
The ridiculous. Six.
the ridiculous 6. That's it.
Grown Ups 2.
And Grown Ups too. Yeah, he was in there just taking his shirt off and humiliating the older folks because he's so buff.
He is so buff.
Yeah, and he's basically been in nothing because he's terrible.
He was in a movie called Home Team
yeah,
just recently.
he's terrible.
That sounds fun.
Okay, well,
it's a sports
there
movie.
you go.
He's no Zac Efron.
That's
Well,
true.
that is true.
That is absolutely true.
Absolutely, I like Zac Efron.
So do I. He's gorgeous.
That
too.
movie Gold was excellent.
Was
by
gold.
The way. Gold was gold.
It was just like it said. So, I guess I got to go back to your bag of awfulness.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I do.
Nope. You have to do something else because you said something a long time ago, and I got a surprise for you, Jim. Because just in case you can't find any movies, you're actually obligated to watch something.
What? Wait a minute. This doesn't sound good.
He's going to his vault.
He's going to. So
he might actually
there's
have
been
it.
some movies that I've been dared to see from Bryce, and I have a feeling this is what it is. I was dared to watch. I was dared to watch Crossroads a
you
while
found
ago. And Bryce and I could not find this anywhere. He tried hard too, and Bryce has nefarious ways, but nobody, and I mean nobody, had available. But I have in front of me right now, and it's the widescreen edition, I might add.
Yes.
I will be watching for next week's Britney Spears
You make sure you get that back to me.
in Crossroads.
Don't be throwing that one in the garbage. I want that one back.
He wants to light it on fire.
What are you talking about? This may be the best movie I see this year.
Britney Spears in Crossroads.
Good
Yeah,
Dan. It's good
I had to go to Canmore to get that one. It was in the
did you-
Canmore thrift shop.
How did you find it?
It was sitting there, and I was like, it was like, the thing is, it's crazy because it literally was the only, I walked up to the, and it was like screaming to me.
Right
It was
at
the
the front.
only thing on the shelf I saw. I'm like, Crossroads! Yes!
And they all thought you were crazy.
Yeah, the people are like, "What? What's happening
What's
right
wrong
now?"
with this guy?
And Kim looks at him like, "I'm sorry, you're
He likes watching
excited?"
teenage girls.
It's like this is the best $2 I think I've ever spent.
What an investment! I just want to talk about how great these special features sound. So
Yes.
there's, it just says special features with more Britney.
More Britney,
So
baby.
there's 2 music videos. Not only do I get to watch her act,
Yes.
I get her to perform.
Oh, you're good. You should watch all the extras.
I might actually do that. I may do a special episode just about the special features from Crossroads.
Yes.
So this has been, I think maybe 2 years in the making, because I think
It was a long
We
time
could
ago.
not find this. There's
Yeah.
another one that's in the bank too that we've been trying to find. I don't remember what it
I
was
don't
now,
remember
but
either, but yeah.
this was a win.
So, yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And now, you know what? The sad thing is,
It's in primo condition too.
the saddest thing about this is that I might not be able to see this till I get back from my holidays, because I don't think anywhere I'm going has a DVD player.
Well, you'll have time to pop it in, I'm
You can
sure.
borrow one of mine if you want.
Yeah, no, Murray, I don't want to.
saying.
I don't want to have one.
You know
I
what?
have 2
I
of
think
them.
you should.
I'm going to
you
take
should-
it with me
You
on my
take it
holidays.
with you, because
I have 2 of them that have a 2-hour battery life.
and I hope they go through your bag at the airport. What is this?
Yeah, normally they're checking content on downloaded laptops.
Yeah.
Which I also have. Wait a minute, my laptop has one.
There you
I'll be able to
go.
watch it in
Nice.
the privacy of my room.
I'm hoping that you get to see it on a nice big screen somewhere.
I
but-
wish.
But yeah, that's all right.
Actually, my parents have a. Oh, wait, let us. If anybody knows where my parents live, you know where I'm
You
going.
torture your parents with it.
That's right. Actually, my parents would probably like it. So,
There you go.
happy birthday, Mom. Well, you know what? This doesn't get any better. I actually think this has been one of the greatest weeks of my life. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the nerdy photographer, for the voice of Rage Ardare, who also happens to be the God of Rage.
Yes.
Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything at Film Rage at filmrageYYC.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We always want to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us a rage. So that's it for this week. A rage on.
Rage on.